After an outstanding day one of the early signing day period, Kirby Smart and the Georgia Bulldogs pick up where they left off in day two, adding a commitment and signing of one of the best defensive line prospects in the country. Jordan Hall, 6'4", 300 pounds, just a beast in the middle of the defensive line. Interior guy who was just dominant last year as a senior, 106 tackles, 9 sacks, 30 quarterback hurries. This is a guy who can do it all. He's a run stuffer on the interior, can blow up any particular play against the level of competition down in Jacksonville that he played against the last several years in high school. But he can get after the quarterback too. I don't want to compare him to Jalen Carter, but I think this is probably the closest we've seen to Jalen Carter since he signed with Georgia. Jordan Hall is a nightmare matchup for someone in one-on-one. He is someone who demands a double team, playing alongside a guy like Jamal Jarrett, who they signed at 6'6", 330 plus pounds. Jordan Hall is going to be in a situation where he's going to be able to make a lot of plays going on one-on-one against a guard, can win with strength, can win with quickness off the ball. He moves really, really well for 300 pounds. I saw him in person, I believe, for the Auburn or Tennessee game. I think it was the Auburn game. And I'm thinking to myself, this guy absolutely looks the part. He could add 15, 20 more pounds and still probably be able to move well enough to, win battles on the inside and get after the quarterback in one-on-one situations. But he's a guy who does his job over and over again. Didn't play with a ton of talent around him in high school, but he still made a lot of plays, and he consistently flashes on film and makes it look easy. And when he hits the ball carrier, he leaves a bruise. The second you watch him play who the best player on the field is, which guy has an offer from Georgia and Florida and LSU, Alabama, the teams that were in his top four. But he's been a Georgia lean for a long, long time now. Throughout the entire season, several months, I've been saying Jordan Hall is trending towards Georgia. They made him a top priority. He worked out with for Trey Scott on campus in the summer of 2021. So he's been a big target now for a year and a half, and Trey Scott's been on him. And I was told that the biggest reason why he chose Georgia was because he wants to be developed and coached. He's not a guy who's looking to enter the transfer portal if he doesn't start immediately. He works hard. I know that because I was barely able to ever get in touch with him for a quote or an interview. This guy is all football all the time. He loves the game. He's a hard worker, comes from a great family background, tough as nails, but he knows the potential that he has. He is quick off the ball. He moves really well for his size. A weight room warrior. Dude looks like he's 25 years old. He's going to be really good. He's going to be good. And I know I say that about a lot of guys, but the Georgia staff is the best in the country at evaluating talent and going after and getting that talent and then coaching them up and developing them. We're seeing what Trey Scott is doing now. He's, if you play for him, you're going to get drafted. And 2 guys were in the first round last year. He sees that. He knows Jalen Carter, as good as he was getting into Georgia, they made him better and they turned him into a top 5 pick. I feel safe saying that he's going to be a top 5 pick. He has that same type of, play wrecking, just blowing up play ability where he gets in the backfield in a hurry, and he's a big dude who can get to you quick. He's got a good motor and he knows how to deliver a hit. Every time Jalen Carter hits someone, you almost feel it. And you're thinking, yikes. You could tell that one hurt. Jordan Hall does the same thing. And he plays with power. He plays with passion. He's tough, but man, he can really live in the backfield. He did that last year. Again, from the interior position, getting over 100 tackles in a season. From that spot, when you're getting double teamed a lot and you're in the trenches, not everything goes between the tackles. So you're going to have to run down a lot of guys to get to that tackle total. For someone 300 pounds, he can move. He can get there. And again, this is a guy who Georgia's been on for a while. They kept up that relationship, got him on campus, I believe a couple times, at least twice, I think, this past fall. Florida State was the team he grew up loving and watching, but Georgia took over and they showed him, hey, we could turn you into something special. And I think that's what they're doing. And he just adds to an outstanding defensive line. Of course, Jamal Jarrett already signed. It's just a big, massive guy that they're going to stick in the middle of the defensive line, eat up blockers, leave room for the linebackers behind him to run around and make plays and, not let the guard, get to the next level and get to that guy. Jordan Hall is the same type of dude, and he's going to eat up blocks when he needs to. He's going to clog those running lanes, but third down situations, he's a guy who doesn't have to come off the field, in my opinion. I think he can get after the quarterback from the interior, and I think they're going to use him in a similar way than Jalen Carter, because he still looks lean at 300 pounds, and he's got that, that size that Jalen does, that explosiveness off the ball. I really like him as a prospect. He's a top 100 kid in the country. In my mind, absolutely. I don't really know exactly where he's ranked on the other sides, but this is a top 100 kid, maybe a top 50 kid. That's how highly I think of him, and everyone that I've spoken to about him loves him, raves him. Not a bad word about him. There's not, well, he's really, really good at this, and he's elite at this, but he's still working on this. He still struggles with this or this. He needs to work on this. No, he just needs to work on getting bigger and faster, which is going to be easy to do. And he just needs to open his mind and learn and be coached and, take it to the field and progress and develop. And I think he's that guy who wants it. He's looking forward to it. He wants to be coached by the best and developed. Everyone's goal is to go to the NFL. And if you're a defensive lineman and Trey Scott says, look at these guys, look what I did for him, and him. Look at how we're playing right now. Best defense in college football. It starts with the defensive line. And I want to turn you into the next guy, that next dog on the interior who can do everything. I mean, he really can get after the passer and stop the run. A lot of guys are good at one of those things, pretty good at another, still has to develop. No. From what I've been told, this guy gets after it. Now, I have not seen him play in person, but I talked to a lot of guys who have and know him well, and he gets it. I mean, one source who goes on these visits with him told me that, hey, I can leave Jordan in the room with Nick Saban and Kirby Smart, Jimbo Fisher, whoever. And no, he's going to say all the right things. He's going to handle himself well, respectful, man. He's not going to say anything he shouldn't. Whereas a lot of guys, their coach, their trainer, their parent, whoever, sits with them throughout these meetings. He's like, no, I just let Jordan go in there, do his thing, talk with the coaches, and they fall in love with him. So he gets it on and off the field. He knows what his potential is, what he can become, and that's why he chose Georgia from what I was told. So massive pickup. Not only is he one of the best defensive linemen in Florida, he's one of the best in the country. You've got him. You've got Jamal Jarrett on the interior. You've got 3 of the top edge rushers in the country on board. I say that before Damon Wilson is expected to make his announcement. I think it's going to be Georgia over Ohio State. If I'm wrong, I'm going to look like a real idiot here. But from what I've been told, I expect Damon Wilson to sign with Georgia over Ohio State tomorrow. I'm making this video a little early because, we figured out it was going to happen actually a while ago. Actually, if you've been reading my stuff for 5 months, you knew Jordan Hall was trending towards Georgia. If you've been watching these videos for the past several months, I've been saying Jordan Hall is trending heavily to Georgia, and he's a guy they push for. And when they push this hard for a guy, more often than not, especially on the defensive side of the ball, they're going to land him. And Jordan Hall did not talk much about his recruitment. Kept everything close to him, but it's because he wasn't interested in all that. He wasn't tweeting out offer number 26, offer number 35, blah, 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 blah. Nah, he was working and he's grinding and he's getting better and better. And, that's just his background. That's his way. That's his nature. That's just how he does things. And he's, quiet when he needs to be, but he's working hard, and he is going to turn into a really, really good player, a guy that we might see early on. There's still a lot of young talent on the defensive line, and he's the next group. I think he's the next guy who could possibly be a multi-year starter and turn into this absolute freak with first-round type of potential. I can absolutely see that with him. I guess when the final rankings come out on all these sites, I expect him to move up to, from wherever he is right now. He's very, very good. Again, explosive. He's strong. He gets it. I know he didn't play at a great program with a lot of really good players at Jacksonville, but playing around better talent and other elite players is only going to help his game out the most. That's what another source told me. He said when he gets to Athens and gets to play around all these guys, they're going to make his job easier. He's going to make it easier for them, and he's excited to be there. Trey Scott, it's turning into one of the best recruiters on the staff, which means he's one of the best recruiters in the game right now. He's developing, he's recruiting, another massive, massive pickup. I don't think Georgia's going to land the #1 class. That's okay, but Jordan Hall getting on board is a big, big deal and adds to an already outstanding defensive line class that Trey Scott has brought in. Once again, they hit a home run, another signing day weekend, another massive success for Kirby Smart and the Georgia Bulldogs. They always close well on signing day. They did again this year. Still maybe a spot or two left in February. We'll see how everything shapes out with Deuce Robinson, 5-star tight end out of Phoenix, who's going to make his decision in February. But for the early signing day period, Georgia knocked it out of the park again. Big day yesterday and a big day today, adding high 4-star defensive tackle Jordan Hall to the 2023 class. Guys, thanks for everything. Taking your time out to watch me in these videos and learn. I love it. Thank you for supporting us. Make sure you read everything we have going on over on Dog Post. Still lots of recruiting info coming in, lots of Peach Bowl preparation stuff. It is popping over on Dog Post. Make sure you check us out. Thanks for watching this video. Enjoy the next one coming up right now, and I'll see you over on Dog Post.